This is the fashion that is a classic and has been a staple for decades. But did you know that it has a dark history of endangering our turtle population? To this day, they are still endangered, partially caused by this aesthetic that you wear. This is the aesthetic of the tortoiseshell glasses. This is part of my Fashion History 101 series where I try to create a brief history in about 10 minutes. It is a Fashion History 101 series about iconic items, and check out my playlist on this for more. There wasn't always glasses or buttons or other accessories, but that doesn't seem to have always been the reason for why we made things out of this. We also did it because of just the aesthetic. Quote, Romans decided tortoiseshell would make for good-looking inlaid veneers and used it in the dining couches and tables of their famed four-day feasts. Quote, the Greeks used entire whole shells for shells and lyre, which were stringed instruments out of the entire shell. They also were used too because it had a practical acoustic sensibilities and also because it was stylistic. Come along a few hundred years after that, Romans used them as inlaid decoration for furniture. Quote, by the 1st century AD, in possibly the first ever travel guide, the Periplus of the Erythraean Sea, the author goes as far as listing the best tortoise species for decoration, with the unlucky and still critically endangered hawksbill topping the list, end quote. So as you can see, it was used by the Romans as well, and then it was actually used even further too as inlay in France in the 18th century, where the carpenter André Charles Boulle makes luxurious furniture with this for the King Louis XIV, which is made out of inlaid shell over metal. And if we switch to another age in time, during the Middle Ages, as letters decreased in size for reading around the 13th century, people became more literate too, and they started to look for a way to read these tinier text sizes more easily. So, what's the solution? Let me give you a hint. It's what Benjamin Franklin invented. Everyone knows Benjamin Franklin made the bifocals, right? Please tell me everyone knows that. Glasses became more widely into use at that point, and then these glasses are very different from the ones we wear today, and they were just clipped on and they didn't really support the ears. A few examples of this still exist, and a pair was actually excavated from a medieval toilet in a German monastery. This artifact nowadays resides in the British Library. But before we go any further, I want you to like that button if you like saving the turtles, because that's what we're going to talk about in the next section. If you smash that like button, it's going to help spread this video to other people via the algorithm. It's all up to you guys. If you love couture, style, and analysis, aka CSA, then please go down and like and subscribe and turn on the bell to get your weekly notifications of a CSA PSA hot off the press weekly. You'll want to subscribe because you won't want to miss the things we do related to fashion, fashion history, like we're doing now, and couture. So now we're on to the section where the turtles are in danger. In the 1920s, glasses became not just practical for use, but there's a stylistic aspect to it too that people needed. Turtles met that trend via tortoiseshell. The film star Harold Lloyd and artist Norman Percival Rockwell wore them. Real shell was used until 1973, when the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species finally outlawed it worldwide. Like seriously, whose idea was it to make shell frames to the point that it actually endangered an animal? Or if it was already endangered, why would you put them at more risk by creating something out of that? It's not like we're making leather handbags out of a cow that is endangered or is close to that, or we're doing it too much to that point. But tortoiseshell, that's not something that you like clone for agriculture purposes like cows, where there's a ton of them where you can mass produce glasses out of. They're a wildlife species, so it just seems to me just stupid and insensitive. Kind of like you're poaching rhinos and then you have to stop the production because you've used too much rhino horn for fashion. Unfortunately though, people still poach rhinos to this day. It only added to reducing the numbers for 50 years as we did this when we used tortoiseshell. The quote hawksbill turtle end quote in particular was noted for its smooth and desirable markings, and its shells were harvested for everything from combs to guitar picks to glass glasses, end quote. Now, only authentic shell items are vintage, though I still wonder if it would be illegal if the turtle died of natural causes and then you tried to use the shell for glasses. Would that be illegal? I mean, you didn't kill the turtle for that purpose, it just happened to die. As long as you can prove that the shell was like from a deceased turtle and that you didn't try to kill it, I wonder if that would be legal. And now we come to Operation Save the Turtles, aka plastic sization. Even with stopping shell, it didn't stop the shell. And what I mean is that even though we stopped using actual shell, it didn't stop the tortoise shell pattern from still being very popular still in the 80s. In the 80s, we developed acetate shell made out of plastic, which is all the tortoise shell stuff that we see today on glasses. The beauty of shell, real shell I'm talking about, is that it's a snowflake. No two frames are ever alike. The situation reminds me of faux fur, but it also has to be considering the future of leather and if it will be similar to this. Everyone is shifting to faux leather currently, though everyone is calling it, quote, vegan leather, quote. I have a video about this topic and the true vegan leather. If you want to see what that is all about, check it out after this video. So seriously, don't click out. There's more to say about this. Quote, as Neil Handley says, inside quote, using real shell has not been prohibited across the world. There are restrictions in participating countries on its export either in raw or worked form, but it is perfectly legal to use existing stocks of the material and several manufacturers will still produce a bespoke shell frame for you, although they tend not to shout about it. No need to shout about. I like that. That rhymes. So it is still possible, other than vintage and antique frames, to still find actual tortoise shell glasses, though they're keeping it hush-hush on the down low, it sounds like, because you don't want to advertise that you're taking baby turtles and then turning them into things you wear in your eyes. If you think about a lot of animal fashion products, that's basically what it is. You're basically taking animals' hide or something, their skin, and making it into something that you're wearing. And yet, most of us don't even think about it because it's just so normalized. But that's what you're doing with the turtle. You're killing them, you're robbing them of their home, and then we make it into pretty little circles that we put on our eyes. Kind of grim, but it's how it is. But hopefully your feelings for this video were not. Smash that like button, because if you've made it to this point, then you're a star. Smash that like button to spread this video to other people, and if you love couture, style, and analysis, aka CSA, like and subscribe and turn on the bell to get your weekly notifications of a CSA PSA hot off the press weekly. You'll want to subscribe because you won't want to miss the things we do related to fashion, fashion history, like this video, and couture. To leave you with an end quote, it's timelessly classy and single-handedly proves the rule that while fashion moves quick, good style is slow and steady, end quote. And with that, until next time, I'll see you all later. Bye!